I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I am going to be showing you 3 looks with the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana palette. Now I already did a dedicated video, a swatch video of this palette where I swatched all 18 shades and I compared it to last year's holiday palette, the Celestial Odyssey. So if you're interested in seeing that video, I will link it here for your viewing pleasure. Now today I'm going to show you 3 looks and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this palette after using 17 of the 18 shadows. Now I did use the shadows on my eyes as well as on my face. So let's check out the looks. Okay, so I've done the third look, and what I want to do now is go in and I want to take this shade right here. Oop, oop, this shade right here, this corally shade right here, and I'm going to put that on my cheeks. It kind of looks like, on the brush, it kind of looks like her duo. Was it Night Bloom? Let me get a mirror so I know what it is I'm doing. Okay, and these mattes you really need to tap because they are pigmented. So I do have bronzer on, so let's put this on as a blush and see how it looks. It's pigmented. She pigmented. See, look at that. Woo. Tap that. She kind of looks reddish on the face, right? Kind of looks a little red. Very good. I'm gonna try to put just a little bit more on this side and blend it. Yeah, she pigmented. Okay, and then now I'm gonna put, I know I'm doing too much now, but I want to take this shade right here. This is a metallic. This one right here. This is a metallic. This is the one I put on the outer lid, and I want to use that as a blush top. As a blush topper. Hello. Hello. Oh, okay. And when I tell you, I just went just like this. This looks gorgeous on top of that matte we just laid down. Okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And now I'm going to take this shade right here. This is the one I put on my inner corner. I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to use that as my highlight for today. I'm going to tap that and going to go in like so. Yes, I'm doing the very most today. I'm doing the very tap, doing the very most today. I'm gonna take a little on the tip of the brush and put it right there. And we're gonna take some and put it right there. All right. And now this is the finished look. Okay, now that I have used just about every shade, did I use just about, or did I use all of them? I used every shade in the palette except this gorgeous one right here, this gorgeous pink. Oh man, I just didn't know where to use it. I thought about using it on my face, but that is just so gorgeous. So of the 18 shades in this palette, I've used 17. And most of them were on the eyes, and a few of them were on the face. So as you saw in the tutorials, I did break this up into 3 6-pan palettes. I saw someone do that on social media, and I thought that was a great idea. And that's a really good way when you have a big palette like this, 18 shades, and maybe you feel a little overwhelmed with how to start or what to do. That's a great way. If you can break it down into smaller 6 pans or quads even, and get you a look out, that'll help get you started at least. So that's what I did. So I worked with these 6 first in the first look, these 6 in the second look, and these 6 in today's look. And the shimmer shades, well, there's a couple of different formulas in here. So this shadow that I use on the inside of my lid today, this is the flakiest, most textured metallic that's in this palette. And for this one, I did it different ways, so I don't know if you'll be able to see. Maybe you saw in the close-up. So I did use in every look I did use the Pat McGrath Artistry Wand to set down the lid shades, except for today. So the first 2 looks. Today I didn't use it on the outer corner of the lid, but I did use it on the inside. And with this shade in particular, it was difficult to pick up on a brush. It was the only one that was difficult to pick up on a brush. So I did go in with my finger and laid it down. And then first I tried with the brush using the Artistry Wand. And then I went in with my finger, and that was way too much. I got a lot of texture. I got a lot of texture that way on the inside of the lid. So on this side, I didn't use the Artistry Wand at all. I just placed it with my finger, and I don't know if you can see, but it's so much smoother. This eye is so much smoother than this one. I think with this one in particular, you just need to go in with your finger. It doesn't really need anything to help it. Maybe you'll want to put on a light layer of glitter glue perhaps to mitigate any fallout, but I think maybe just a damp brush and your finger and you're good to go. And then the others I didn't have an issue with. I didn't really have too much of an issue with laying these shimmers down. Although I feel like you're going to get more bang for your buck using your finger, because these, as someone who has a lot of indie eyeshadows now, and those indie metallics, they're really like wham bam, thank you ma'am, in your face, very sparkly, very metallic. Some of them are like liquid metal, so you put them on and they're going to make an impact immediately, whereas these shimmers are not those shimmers. These are a lot more subtle. So I feel like to get the kind of oomph that I'm used to getting from indie brand metallics, I needed to dampen my brush or use my finger. So I would suggest fingers are the best application, but all except this one picked up fine on a brush, and I'm okay with that. I mean, Pat McGrath doesn't make a metallic formula that's like in your face. She makes a more subtle, subdued, more mature, sophisticated metallic, if you will, but very pretty. And these are the types of metallics that her formula, where you don't maybe necessarily want to have all eyes on you, the attention on you, like boom, right away as soon as you walk in the room. You want to be a little more low key, but a little above the average. Maybe you don't want to be all the way up here above the radar, but maybe just right here, and still beautiful but more subtle. So those are the shimmers. And this one right here, though, of all of them, this one, besides the flaky one, this one definitely, I don't know if it's the formula, I don't know if it's the shade, I think it's both. This formula is a little, the other ones are a lot, some of them are more smooth. This one has a little more texture to it. And then just you saw in the tutorial, when I applied it with my finger, it immediately had a lot of impact. So that's a beautiful shade. And that's the one that has a slightly purple flip to it. And then this one here, the one that I didn't use, absolutely gorgeous. When I swatch it, it's just bam. So aside from these three here, I would say the other shimmers, more subtle. This one here, Bronze Glitz, I believe, Glitzy Opulence. No, not glitzy, bronze sparkle. This one here from the first look on the lid, that's the perfect name for it. Bronzy with nice, beautiful, sparkly shimmer to it. But again, I felt like I needed to wet my brush to kind of give it a little more oomph to it, but it was beautiful either way. Now these mattes, there's a couple of different formulas in these mattes too. These two right here, this one here, and this one here, which you saw in the swatches, they feel like cream, especially this one that I used on the outer corner today. They feel very creamy, very emollient, where the other ones feel more like traditional powder. But so this one I really think is like a cream to powder formula, because when you put your brush in there and you dig it around a little bit, you will get some powdery kick up, but for the most part it's very emollient and it feels more like a cream. This one is also very creamy, not as creamy as this one, but still creamy. The other ones feel a little more like regular mattes. The purple here is a little more dry. They feel like more traditional powder mattes, but all of the mattes, as you saw in the tutorials, all of the mattes are pigmented and they all blend very well. So you really don't need a lot on your brush. You can do a slight tap with your brush and then apply and blend. I tended to go in a little heavy with mine, but with a lot of blending I was able to blend it out to a lighter, softer wash than when I first apply it. So if you're a little, if you get a little scared when you first put it on because it is so pigmented, just keep blending and it'll be fine. What disappoints me somewhat are these like more colorful mattes. They're much more vibrant and brighter in the pan. Once I apply them and start blending, they deepen up quite a bit. But if you're able to pat them like on the lower lash line, they're definitely more vibrant. But blending them out, they did tend to darken a bit, which it's always nice when a shadow can remain how it looks on your eye as it does in the pan. The mattes are really, really nice. I love the pigmentation, I love the blendability, but I always have with Pat McGrath, and that hasn't changed. This one too, this really like bright coral, looks turned a little more pinkish on my skin, so it doesn't stay as bright and vibrant as it looks in the pan once I applied it. It did dull down and darken and doesn't look the same and had more like a pink, turned a little more pink on my eyelids. Although, on my cheeks, it maintained more of that rusty coral look than it did on the eyes. But still, yeah, on the eye, it just looked a little more pink. So I was disappointed by that, I'm not gonna lie. Even this pink matte, it's light, you can see it in the inner corner here. I have to say, today's look, I feel like there's not a whole lot of differentiation between all the mattes once I blended them in together. Like, I don't know if you can tell, I used 3 different mattes, maybe. This deep one here just looked like a darker extension of this shade, so they kind of look the same to me, except this one here is a little deeper. So I think my favorite look was the one with this 6 pan here with this shadow. Just really, really gorgeous. So and as you saw, I did use some of these on the face. So I did use this one right here, Glitzy Opulence, which is a really beautiful, I used that as a highlighter in the first look, and it's on my skin tone and deeper. Look at that, when you blend it out, gorgeous. And I like the 2 that I used today. This one made a really pretty blush topper as well as an eyeshadow, and this one makes a really nice highlighter. as well. So all in all, I like the fact that with these mats, it was really like one and done. I did go in and build up the mats, but really one and done. You can go in with these mats and a little bit on your brush, make sure you tap it off and blend. This kind of formula just allows you to do quick and easy looks. And that for me has always been the case with Pat McGrath, outside of her special shades, of which this palette doesn't have any. So I like this palette. I'm glad to have it. I feel like I can do a lot of different looks with it. I do appreciate the brighter mattes, even though they're not as bright on the eye as they are in the pan. I do appreciate some of the variety she put in this palette as opposed to her others. And I think you can do a lot of different looks with it. It's definitely more versatile than the last maybe 3 or 4 palettes she's released, in my opinion. I'm happy to have it in my collection. Am I happy I paid $82 with 10% off? No, I'm not. I think if you're thinking about getting this palette, wait for the sale, as I'm sure a lot of people are. I don't think it's worth $82, especially when you don't have the lacquer background on the inside. This is cardboard. I don't know why. You do get a little more product in this one. The last palette was like 19 and change grams of product, whereas this one is 22 and change. So you are getting a little bit more, but I really wish they hadn't made it bigger. I would prefer to just get the same amount and maybe have a couple of dollars knocked off of it, because this is going to be probably annoying. This is going to be annoying to store because it is significantly bigger than the last one. But yeah, for $82, I would have preferred to wait. But I think if you can get it for 30% off, then yeah, this would be this would be a good buy if you can get it for 30% off. So let me know in the comments below, of the 3 looks, which one did you like best? If you liked this video and found it at all helpful, then please give it a like and consider subscribing. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.